Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your end of March 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Serena here. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one, too. That's a good card, too. Yeah. So far, so good. Let's put it that way. All right. All right. Let's see. I'm just collecting these other cards because they're kind of, so I can put them to one side. The heart of the matter is the Magician card. And this is a card about making, I was going to say making magic. That's a little bit redundant. It's about being a conscious co-creator. I honestly think that Leo people already have this tendency within themselves because Leos are great leaders. And what's more, a lot of you are very positive people. So when people are positive, they're always, and it's like being can do, meaning that they're looking for ways to accomplish things, not looking for reasons why they can't do something. So Leo people tend to be successful. I mean, obviously, there are late bloomers among all signs, and Leo is no exception, but I do believe that Leos tend to be confident and therefore command respect from other people. That's another reason. But it's easy sometimes to kind of get a little bit confused, or that's not really the word I'm looking for, just feeling maybe even like a little bit discouraged because you may have had some events in your life in recent, I would say recent years in particular, that may have made you not so sure about all of that. And I'm thinking, because I'm primarily an astrologer, so I always think about the astrology. And what I would say for Leo, it's probably because you have Taurus at your midheaven, and therefore you have Uranus has been in this area for years. And it's probably so your career, because that's what the 10th house, that where the midheaven lies, has probably thrown you a few curveballs. You may have been in an industry that saw a lot of major revamping, if not maybe it just kind of abruptly closed down, and you thought it was a sure bet, and you really in some cases dedicated many years to something, and all of a sudden it's no longer legitimate or whatever. And that can feel very ungrounding to have that happen. So the Magician is about understanding that you run the show. It's not about the outer world. And I've said this before, but I used to be the kind of person who kind of shied away from the idea of magic because when I first heard about it, because I thought it was something where people were just chanting incantations and trying to manipulate matter. And sometimes, just even the classic definition, it seemed more like random luck, magic, rather than something that you invest your energy in. And that's what some of you may have realized, is that you make your own luck, and that you can co-create on a conscious level those things that you want. And the reason that this is an important distinction is because it allows you to feel that you hold the key rather than crossing your fingers and hoping that something is going to, go your way. In the past position, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which can be a card of a new job. Pentacles relate to earth energy, also earth sign people. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. You may have met somebody like this. But if it's something like a new job, like financial windfall, it might be because you're practicing the law of attraction, or you are, working with those principles is what I mean. And by the way, I know some people say, well, I'm not like some kind of like, I'm not a devotee to law of attraction. You don't have to be completely obsessed with it, but just the basic principles can be all it takes to shift your perspective if you have felt out of control in that area of life. The higher perspective is the Eight of Pentacles, and this is a card of the apprentice, and this can also be the card of someone who is really doing a good job. And what I think about this is some of you may have even started your own businesses, and perhaps they're still in that infancy stage, and you might be keeping your day job. To me, that Eight of Pentacles is like somebody who has, maybe they still have a day job and they have that great work ethic because they're going to do a good job until the day that they leave. They're not going to say, hey, I'm out of here. I have one foot out the door, so I'm just going to mail it in. That's not the ethic, the work ethic that you are operating with, thankfully. And so this is going to pay off for you if that's how you feel, because you respect what it is that you have been doing, whether or not you choose to continue with it. And even if you're doing the same thing, but you're doing it in a different venue, and even if you could tell me, well, I wasn't being paid enough at my old job, I wasn't or if it's still your current job, but you're about to transition to a new workplace, you could tell me all these reasons why it wasn't a good fit for you, but it still isn't going to convince you to kind of mail it in. And if you are nodding right now and saying, yeah, that's how I operate, then, good on you, because I really feel that it's like, when we find ourselves in a situation that maybe we didn't expect to, maybe you thought that I was going to say, maybe you were even duped a little bit, and you thought that you had a lot of growth opportunity at the employment, your employer, and you found out that it wasn't as great an opportunity as that you had hoped. You're not going to use that as an excuse to just kind of slack off. And that shows character. Also, the Eight of Pentacles can indicate somebody who is training or in an apprenticeship. So you may be studying something, practicing something so that you perfect your skills or add to your toolbox. And that makes you more valuable in future employment, or if you're working for yourself, you're gaining these credentials. Actually, I don't even like the word credentials, but tools or skills to be able to do something else. What crosses you is the Page of Wands. I really feel in this particular case, this may be connected to the Mercury retrograde in Aries, because Wands relates to fire energy and Page can be messages. We're having a Mercury retrograde starting in Aries season on April 1st. So this will this, I mean, I shouldn't say this will definitely happen this way, but it might be that because this reading is supposed to be through the end of March, that as you are progressing in your plans, that you have to accommodate a period of maybe a one step back reflection before you move forward completely. So, also with the magician, that is connected to Aries too. And by the way, I'm not saying that the Page of Wands is specifically connected to Aries. I just feel I connect it to that based on astrological timing, but I don't know for sure what it is. See, Page of Wands can be good news. So sometimes, I mean, if you look at it beyond Mercury retrograde, maybe you have something that comes up that seems like it's not so good news. And if you allow it to, you can have it block your manifestations, which the page of, I mean, the magician is connected to. So you have to, you know, when we're trying to accomplish something, there may be roadblocks that come up. But the more that the person can have their eyes on the prize, the more that none of those things will phase you or discourage you. And actually, one great thing about Leo is that you are a fixed sign because you tend to be very determined and steadfast. So you may have Mars in in Leo too, and that would give you that, I call it the steamroller effect, whenever somebody has Mars in a fixed sign, because they tend to take action over and over again in the same area, hoping to wear down the person if there's any kind of pushback. And so, and I say that because sometimes a person may have that type of behavior and they can't take no for an answer, or they can't see that that isn't for them. They're just so hooked into this thing that they think that they want, and they're not looking at the signs. So I'm not saying that 100% of the time, if you just keep doing the same old thing over and over again, that you'll get your way. No, sometimes you can waste a lot of time and energy just trying to make something happen. And I call it forcing the hand of the universe. It's not a good vibe. So there has to be a balance, but it is good sometimes to have that persistent attitude. Now, I got for what is coming in, the energy coming in, the Hierophant in reverse. So I'm just going to hold it upright so you can see what this card represents. Actually, the Hierophant to me represents Sagittarius, and they say Taurus actually. And Sag rules the ninth house, and that is where the Mercury retrograde is happening. So it is upside down. But this is a card of, so I feel like it might have something to do with that area of life, perhaps. If I'm reading it my own way, anything to do with ninth house matters, like higher education, something going awry. That's where the Mercury retrograde is going to be. So trying to enroll and you're getting some kind of an error message, trying to travel and not being able to, or trying to take a spiritual course and being somehow prevented. That's what I'm really referring to. Whenever we have these blocks that are kind of placed in our path, sometimes we really need to look at that and see if maybe it's telling us something about us being on the wrong track. Because I do think that sometimes that is what's happening. Now, some people give up too quickly, that's for sure, but it could be a sign of something. This is a card of conformity. So when you have it upside down, the person is like really kind of, in some cases, really rebelling against something that is, about conformity. So, for instance, um, if you, let's say you received a job offer, like the Ace of Pentacles suggests, because you have been stepping into your own power as a conscious co-creator, you may find that you're being asked to do something or be someone that simply is not for you. So just because somebody gets a job offer and it's different from where they're working doesn't mean it's going to be better. And the other thing too is that you may, I feel like with the Magician card, and especially since it is connected to Aries, I feel like sometimes it can mean that a person is doing their own thing. They're not just being cookie cutter. And that is the Hierophant in reverse to me is being unconventional. And that can be exactly what you need. And because you have Uranus, which I associate with being unconventional in, transing your 10th house of career, that really is appropriate for this time in your life. Maybe you have that degree or that training that you thought was going to be the roadmap for the rest of your life. And now maybe not so much, because the outcome card is the Queen of Cups. This is a card of both artistic matters. This is the artist. This is also the mystic or the psychic. This is also a very like feminine. This is a double feminine energy, and it's very much like the mother. The queen can represent the mother, but the cups is also the water energy. So it's very, very much about that emotional side of life. And Leo, you have Leo. I mean, you have I should say you recently had Pluto in that 6th house, so that could be about being healed, but also the healer. Also, you have Neptune in the 8th house, and that could be somebody who's channeling, who's doing automatic writing, and maybe you're getting these amazing, that's why I'm saying like automatic writing, some type of downloads. They're coming to you, and you may not be like seeking them out necessarily, but you are receiving all these messages like a medium or a channel. And the thing is, it's like, this is more spiritual. It's less of that aggressive. The wands is the masculine, and it's, Leo is a masculine sign, but this is more receptive. So it's coming to you rather than you going out and doing it. And when we pay attention to the trends that are going on in our life and the signs, we can get a much clearer picture than if we're trying to muscle our way through things. That's a toxic masculinity. The divine masculine is take charge energy, but there's also the divine feminine. And that's very magnetic and very receptive. So there's a passivity, but it's not a negative passivity. It's kind of like be still and know. All right, that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I have astrology readings. I have package deals. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.